Hello, my dear friends. I'm Rusthana S and I'm second year PG student of St. Cyril's College. And now I am just going to deal with our Dalit literature paper. And inside that, there are three autobiographies that we have to study. And from that, first autobiography is The Outcast by Sharan Kumar Limpale. Second one is Juthan by Om Prakash Valmiki. And Changiya, third one is Changiya Rukh by Balbir Madhopuri. Now I'm going to discuss about Changiya Rukh by Balbir Madhopuri. So it's an autobiography of Balbir Madhopuri. So before going to this particular autobiography, we can discuss about the author Balbir Madhopuri. He was born in 1955 in Madhopur, Jalandhar, Punjab. So he's a Punjabi writer and he penned a lot of poems and some of those collections are Marutal Da Birk, it's Punjabi language, okay. The translation is Tree of the Desert in 1998. It was published in the year 1998. And Bhakta Patal, that is The Inferno in 1992, etc. So, we know that most of the Dalit writings are related to the problems that happened in their society. Most of the writers wrote about their own sufferings and pain, etc. So autobiographies always have an influence on the readers because it is the real life of those writers. They are just they're just writing their own lives. So it seems to be very relevant in Dalit literature. So Changiya Rukh, the title of the autobiography, carries a greater significance because this Changiya Rukh is a tree. That means that it's a tree. It's a meaning in Punjabi. It's a Punjabi meaning, a tree locked from the top. That means we know about this image is metaphorical. This image is metaphorical. Why? Because Balbir Madhopuri refers to the Dalits whose potential for growth and progress is taught by upper caste people. That means Dalits were not allowed to grow in the mainstream. They should not come into the mainstream of the society. They should not grow. And these upper caste people oppress these people, okay, or suppress these people. And that's why we can say Changiya Rukh is a tree that is not allowed to grow, okay. Likewise, dwarfism happens to that particular tree. So the significance of tree, the symbolism of the tree is very important in this autobiography. And the beginning of this autobiography, in this autobiography, at the beginning itself, this writer recalls his past and how the people of his community were segregated and separated from the rest of the village because they were discriminated. His society is discriminated. That means his own community is discriminated in that particular society. And upper caste people oppress. Upper caste people seems to be the oppressed class. That means this seems to suppress these people. They lived in the periphery for removed from the village. And according to Madhopuri, to be born in India is a sin. So he considered that I should not born in India. And because I think that is a sin for me. He meant like that because if a low caste boy were to come out on the lanes, he caught one thing. There is a quotation related to that. If a low caste boy were to come out on the lanes of the village, all bathed and dressed in new clothes, his hair combed one or the other of the new clothes. His hair combed one or the other of the jars sitting under the tree would get up and then they throw mud on him. If he protested, he was sure to be beaten up. That means these children lower class children were not allowed to dress well. They were allowed to dress they have to use stinky dresses. Even if they try to use good clothes, they will be punished by the upper caste people. So Madhopuri goes on to narrate his life story without a tint of exaggeration. He is not giving any exaggeration. It's so full of pain and it is full of worries, grief, etc. They don't want to exaggerate all these things because these all are truth. And he describes how the community was terribly oppressed by the religion and traditional hegemony. We know about hegemony, right? Even the living space were clearly marked out. Upper caste lived in a certain village, and lower caste were lived in Chameli, place where which is belonged to the lower caste people. And that location is like where narrow rows of Dalit homes on the western periphery of the village. And the second reason is that the dirty water, it's very important, dirty water of that village comes to that lower part of that village, and that lower part in that lower part of the village this Dalit people lives. And the two segments were there in that village, for one for the upper caste people and one for the lower caste people. And Madhopuri recalls how they denied access to drinking water. They were not able to drink water from the pipe, and instead of that, what do I say? The people, that means the upper caste people's cattle were treated very goodly, and they even those animals get good consideration than these untouchables, not untouchables, I should not say that, these people, these lower caste people. And likewise he is telling, even we are not, he just says one quotation here, there is a quotation here: "It hurt me to think that we were considered worse than animals. Even dumb animals are accepted and considered better than us." So even the gurudwaras changed under the control of the Jas. Dalits were not allowed inside this gurudwara. And the thing is that autobiography comes alive through a host of characters, and the author comes in as a sensitive boy exposed to the sufferings. He's a victim, and then there is a lot of things that happened in his life, which seems to be very, very it make us to feel. In the case of Om Prakash Valmiki's Youth, and also we get because these all are the autobiographies, the real life stories we can see, and I get influenced personally. I can say that I just get influenced by his his words in that writing, the Judan. So women were suppressed to their fate in these autobiographies in their community, and Madhopuri narrates its emotional experience of facing insult in public places, and his father worked for the Zamindars who treated their animals better than the Dalit workers. So there is one thing, Dalits are therefore victims of trauma. We can say that they are the victims of trauma, and they are the victims of persisting social condition called casteism. So we are not getting out of this caste system. This is casteism is there, still caste system is there, and discrimination is there in the society. So in this autobiography, Balbir Madhopuri is talking about what? The oppression of his own community in the mainstream of the society. How upper caste people oppress them, or how upper caste people suppress them. I hope you understand, and I know that it's a little explanation, then also I think it will make you helpful for your exam. Thank you so much.